Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Tom, and welcome to My Life in Movies. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 2015 thriller Sicario. Sicario is an action thriller directed by Denis Villeneuve. It stars Emily Blunt, Josh Brolin, and Benicio del Toro. Blunt stars as Kate Mesa. Mesa is an FBI agent who is enlisted by a government task force to bring down the leader of a powerful and brutal Mexican drug cartel. During her time with this task force, she finds her own ethical code being questioned as she finds the group are doing things that are immoral and illegal. The film opens with an FBI kidnap response unit led by Mesa raiding a suburban home in Arizona. The house is a known drug den, and the FBI team has been given information that leads them to suspect that the criminals living there have taken civilian prisoners. However, once they've cleared the building, the team makes a grisly discovery. Following the raid, Mesa is summoned to a meeting in the Department of Justice, and Kate is invited to join a special force commanded by the CIA, intended to fight back against the cartels. The team is led by Matt Graver, who is played by Josh Brolin. Mesa is keen to join this task force because she wants to make those responsible for the crimes that she has witnessed pay. She quickly learns that this task force is not what she has in mind when she discovers that the team intends to promote havoc in the Sonora cartel to force a well-known kingpin to reveal himself and lead the team to drug lord Fausto Alarcon. As the film unfolds, the viewer begins to get a clear impression that everything is not what it appears to be. Mesa very quickly goes from being elite and one of the best at what she does to being completely in over her head. She very quickly understands that this mission is not at all what she expected it to be. Mesa finds that the assignments led by Matt and his partner Alejandro, who is played by Benicio del Toro, are absolutely illegal, and she discovers the real reason she was invited to join the team. The film is incredible at making the viewer feel great amounts of tension. There are a few standout scenes in this film where I could practically hear my heart beating behind my eyes as the tension built. The raid scene right at the beginning of the film is an incredibly crafted opening sequence, and I think it really sets the tone for the rest of the movie. The film is paced incredibly well, and to my uneducated mind, it all seems so realistic. I think that most viewers will enjoy this movie, whether they're fans of thrillers or not. Sicario demands your attention and holds it tightly in its grasp for its entire runtime. And most of that time you're stressed out and concerned about the fates of Mercer and the rest of the task force, as well as the fates of all the innocents caught in the crossfire. Whilst I was watching the movie, I was really thankful to notice that shaky camera movements were not present, even during the high intensity scene. I naturally try to avoid watching action movies nowadays because I really can't stand the way the cameras cut and shake around every couple of seconds. And that's just because you really can't see what's meant to be happening. Like, you can't tell at all what's going on. Well, I mean, at least beyond the vague idea of good guy hit bad guy hit good guy. There was a gunshot, I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. The point is, there's none of that in this movie. It's all really well shot, really well crafted, and you can see everything. It's like you're placed in that situation. Instead of frequently cutting away, it puts the viewer in the action and wants you to see everything that the characters are seeing and experience everything the characters are experiencing. There's no camera trickery, just grounded and gritty realism. So with that in mind, I give my props to cinematographer Roger Deakins, because this is some of the best camera work I've seen in an action movie. The real point I'm trying to make here is that Sicario never revels in the violence, it never glorifies it, it just shows the realism of what a war on a cartel does look like. The camera doesn't focus on the violence and the horrific crimes of the cartels because it thinks it looks cool. It focuses on those because it really wants the viewer to understand the kind of things that are happening in the world and the kind of things that go unnoticed and unspoken about day in and day out. I also love that the movie never tells you what to think. It never tells you these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. You know, beyond the obvious of the cartel are definitely the bad guys. It gives you a set of characters all doing what they think they need to do to survive, and they just do it. There's no clear and set out right answer to the situation. And so you see this polarization of Emily Blunt's character being really conflicted about everything that they do, and then Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's characters being like, well, this is what we need to do, we're going to do it by any means necessary. Mesa herself is very concerned about following the guidelines and the laws to make sure that everything is done right. Whereas Graver and Alejandro just want to get it done. They don't care if it's done right, they don't care if it's done violently, they just want to get it done. And giving the viewer this idea of three protagonists with different ideals is a really cool way to make the film a different experience for everybody that sees it. Opinions on the heroes is going to vary from viewer to viewer, and with that you'll feel different emotions towards different decisions that are made by the three protagonists. Do you root with the gritty and down-to-earth ideals of Alejandro and Graver, or do you side with the lawful goodness that is Mesa's character? It's a really cool moral dilemma for the viewer to face, and one that I found myself flip-flopping on over the duration of the film and for the next few days, actually. If you've seen the film, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Whilst reading up on this movie for my review, I read that Del Toro's character, Alejandro, initially had many more lines of dialogue and filled Mesa in on who he was and what had happened to him in the past. This was changed because Del Toro said, "It felt a little stiff to have someone you just met 15 minutes ago suddenly telling you what happened to him and who he is." This led to Del Toro and the director, Villeneuve, to working together to cut much of Alejandro's dialogue. This was done to preserve the mystery of who his character is. It is estimated that 90% of what Del Toro was originally intended to say was cut from the final script. In my opinion, this is a really cool idea. Stripping down the character to a brooding silence really built upon the mystery of the film and Alejandro's true role within the task force. The director, Villeneuve, said, "Movies are about movement, character, and presence, and Benicio had all of that." On Letterboxd, I gave this film a 3.5-star review. I thought the film was an incredible achievement and it had some insanely intense scenes throughout. But then I also felt like a lot of scenes that should have had a lot of intensity were just completely lacking it. And a lot of these scenes were ones that probably should have been more intense than the most intense scenes that were captured in the film. I'm saying the word intense a lot, but I can't think of another word, so we're just going to have to roll with that. Perhaps if it wasn't for the intensity of the opening scene and another really pivotal scene that happens pretty early on in the film, maybe I'd feel differently. I just feel that the film missed the mark during some of the most pivotal scenes. It is still by all means an incredible film that I recommend to everybody. It's just that I know that the film could have been so much more if it found a way to hold that intensity throughout all of the pivotal scenes. But that's all from me. What did you guys think of Sicario? Let me know down below. Thanks once again for stopping by. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.